coming back to how you would define the Kanban board, as we saw yesterday, it could be as simple as defining the to-do, the doing, and then done. So I don't need to explain, it's self-explanatory. So to-do is still not started yet, and then perhaps there's a delay, and then you can actually try and, if there is some things that are still there in to-do for about 4 or 5 days, or even the 7th day after the sprint start, then you know that there is a problem. Ask why nobody has picked up this item. This has been there for the last 7 days. This should have actually been worked out. And then comes the problem of what is happening. Why is it not moving in the way it should be? So you can unearth the problems. You can understand where the problems are. You can try and take some kind of clues why the problem is there. What is causing the blockage? What is causing the delay? And then try and remove that. So that is the to-do. Very, very important to understand why the delay is, and then you can try and address that root cause. And then doing, or in progress, is basically once you start working on it, then obviously you can understand that it is in progress. But a task could be in progress for a good few hours to few days to few weeks to few months, right? So just because somebody is working on a task doesn't mean it is being done. It is actually okay. It can be done in the next second. It can be done next day, or it can take another few weeks to complete it. So it is, again, important to actually kind of keep your eyes and ears open to make sure that you question why a particular item is in the doing column for longer than it should be, right? That's again something to question. So these are the things that you would try and ask, that you try and investigate yourself. It's not as a manager or a boss, but it's basically as a team. We would try and update each other during the execution of a particular project following the agile development methodologies. It could be Scrum, it could be SAFe, DSDM, doesn't matter. But this actually gives you that kind of an instrumentation dashboard where you can actually get to see everything. A simple example is your car dashboard. It actually gives you the speed with which you're going, the fuel that you have in your car, and perhaps the odometer, the distance that you traveled. All of these dimensions, all of these different, across the different dimensions of speed, time, how much time you have started the journey, what's the trip meter. So you have got pretty much everything on the dashboard to give you the sense of how you're going, right? So the same way, a Kanban board is pretty much like a dashboard for your project, for the product development initiative. It gives you at various points of time pretty much a real-time assessment of where we are. It is not something that is like post-mortem, that is 100 days old or a 2 years old thing. It is actually reflecting the current situation as on that particular moment. So it's very, very real-time, very reliable, and you can try and follow that to understand why some things are not being done that they should have been. So very, very, very powerful again. So in terms of the software development, we've seen that it could be actually tracked with respect to each of these different things. So you've got one card which has got different other tasks or subtasks. You can actually run it through the multiple columns. You can see that within design, you can actually see doing still or be done. So you can have multiple columns within each of the main columns. So you can try and, there's no specific do or don't with respect to how you would manage the work and the flow and the columns and rows. So it's totally up to you. You've got the flexibility. You can try and pick up and define the way that you would like it to be in terms of managing the requirements, managing the context within which it is being done. So it can be done for development projects, for the process improvement, for the maintenance kind of projects, for process re-engineering. Anything in the world is actually a good candidate for implementing Kanban that way. And then how you really do is basically, as we discussed, it could be with respect to the backlog. It could be the to-do is the product backlog. And then the dev could be the sprint backlog. The first item in the sprint backlog is the dev. Then you can actually have test, release, done, or deployed on live. So it's totally up to you. The team would decide whether they want like 5 columns or they want 50 columns, right? And then within each of these, you can actually decide whether it's done by Sarah, Dave, or is it done by somebody else. You can actually kind of use color post-its. All yellow ones are all Dave's. All pink ones are all Sarah's, and all the blue ones are Paul's, for example. So you can have that kind of a flexibility and then simplicity that can be inbuilt into the way you're tracking the work.